out here quite quick. I wonder if we'll see a Katarina ban. I don't think so. It's going to be pointed at Shifter mainly, though, on this side at Dignitas. The Kassadin's going to be forced out, obviously, on the red side. Or Skara might have a chance to play that.
It's actually funny because Shifter and Skara are the two most likely mids in the North American LCS to play Katarina. But I don't think Katarina is deserving of a ban. So it'll be funny if one of them actually does pick up the champion because they both know how she works in most matchups, probably all matchups.
If he picks it again, I don't know. There were some socks eaten on Reddit last time he picked it. They said, I'll eat my sock. So I don't know what people are going for this
third time was not the charm, but
No.
they could just push it to 4 here. He said never second-guess your picks.
That's right.
And roaming is such a huge part of Coast's playstyle. It just kind of fits with Katarina. That's why they keep going back to it, because
they're
that
almost
champion
forcing him to pick it. They're like, nope, you get nothing. You're forced to ban Gragas because Scar is going to take it. We're going to see a Wukong here. If that Katarina comes out again, I'll be mind blown.
So banning Gragas against Dignitas is a classic, really. People have been doing that for years, literally.
And when you
been doing that for years.
That's what started with Ziggs, Dignitas' whole steamroll they have going on. Scar getting that Gragas the one game, and everybody has been blown apart since then.
Yasuo is still up, though, and the first pick, Wukong from Dignitas, means that they're already prepping a Yasuo composition here. He's a very strong champion right now, and Skara has put in a lot of Yasuo games. I would not be surprised if they do a late Yasuo pick so that they can protect him from a bad match. Wow, Ziggs is pretty hard. But he can go for kills on Ziggs still.
This would be interesting. We know Shifter as a Ziggs player. He does play Ziggs, but he hasn't showed us to it yet. This split, I would have actually thought of Kale here, but we get the Lucian coming in, and that's the first time we actually have WizFusion taking up Lucian for a game.
Lucian is going to be pretty strong for WizFusion. Maybe they'll be able to get going early and have an effect in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, the bottom lane for Dig, I talked about that being such a hot spot for them. They got both of their
Demolition.
picks. Those are the two most highly prized bot picks. Look how happy they all are. They're just so ecstatic that they got not only their first pick, but also the bottom lane of choice for this team. Cutie Pie, his face almost mirrors that of Jinx there, how excited he is.
Yeah, right? You saw the smile on his face. All the turrets are going down this game, even in enemies coming down the lane. So we're waiting for the picks here on the side of Coast. We've seen Olaf, we've seen Shyvana, Elise, and Wukong in the jungle for them, but it may be Pantheon this time with a lock-in. That is going to be a new one for Nintendo.
So, yeah, the Pantheon is a really popular jungle nowadays because of the power of his early ganks. And since they lock it in with a Leona, that bottom lane, I already talked about how Lucian has a good kill potential early. Now, with a Pantheon and a Leona, it just gets ridiculous. There could be a lot of action, and they could go at the heart of Dignitas here. Even though they got Jinx and Annie, they can go for the kills.
Awesome pickup here. Still smiles on the faces. You can see him. Skara's losing it over there in mid lane. Oh, man. This is going to be an awesome composition. A lot of fire. A lot of death coming down from Dignitas.
A lot of area of effect damage here for Dignitas. They got Cutie Pie on his favorite champion, Kiwi Kid on his favorite champion. Cruiser has had the most success on Mundo, so that's basically now his favorite champion by default, whether he likes it or not. And then they've got Skara adding all that magic AoE down on top of this Wukong. There's ridiculous team fight here for Dignitas. So they're going to look to get early turrets, and then they can have early objective control after that centered around Dragon because their Dragon fight is so strong. Really what Coast is going to have to do is get those early lane kills. They need this Pantheon to really have an early game effect. They want to get early kills on Pantheon, either bottom lane, or they can even get them top lane with Renekton.
And these picks don't surprise me from Coast. Ziggs being a first-time pick from Shifter. Pantheon on Nintendo. We know Nintendo for the Leona in the jungle, the Fiddle in the jungle in the previous splits. These guys are, like we said, not afraid to try things.
So Shifter did use Ziggs in the promotion tournament, I'm pretty sure. And it's an all-around amazing mid-champion. Man, is that thing annoying to play against because of the long-range harass / wave clear that just happened at the same time. So he'll definitely be happy on that champion. And it means that he doesn't have to actually walk to the other lanes to extend his sphere of influence. He can actually just throw down long-range ultis to help out.
Now, do you think this meta currently provides for Scar to be going in the bottom lane with Karthus still?
So Karthus, you know, he's pretty good in 2 versus 1 lanes.
Yeah.
Back last season, Reggie was quoted as saying, you know, never go against Karthus as a 2 versus 1 because he's so strong at them. His weakness is getting dove, though, and Pantheon is the king of diving. So I would not want to put that Karthus in 2 versus 1 situation. Pantheon will dive your ass really quick.
Definite hard hats in that situation. A little too much danger. The champs are locked in, so let's see who you locked in to get the win here. Over to LOLesports.com. Another 90%er. 90% of you think Dignitas.
I guess
keep that streak alive.
There's just like this wagon that's going around. Everybody in the LCS votes all the same way nowadays.
They're offering goldfish. I got to get on that train. Free goldfish if you get on the bandwagon. So we'll see what these teams have for each other. Coast looking to bring out the Ziggs, the Pantheon, for the first time in this matchup. Crumbs brings out the Wukong again. We thought they would go for Yasuo, but it does appear that the Renekton was pulled out in the game overall.
Yeah.
Coast was looking at that Yasuo too.
Talking about how annoying it is to play against Ziggs, Yasuo doesn't have a better time than a lot of other people. So Sakara goes with a safe farmer here, which has really worked out for them. Him on more long-range farm champions has been a lot more successful for Dignitas than him on Assassins. Because when Scar plays Assassins, he shoves up a lot and he gets ganked a lot, and he really makes himself vulnerable. But he's had success on champions like Karthus and Ziggs because it makes him play more safe.
Talking about not safe, all these Renekton's coming out with the Doran's Blade to start lately, straight into the Tiamats. Real aggression there.
Yeah, he could shove his lane up pretty early. I like this. This is much nicer here. Both of them just showing off how big of an explosion you can make. Shifter actually has the upper hand here. You can see he has literal bombs, and Scar's just working with those little Skittles. It's kind of sad. Look, he's demoralized. Look at his face there. He's just...
He's like, I don't want to be on the screen right now. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Turn off the names.
My explosions are just as powerful as yours, Shifter.
This is... I'm going to actually do a quick Wraith here. Scar's like hovering that. And they're like, when Wraith comes up, I'll help you.
I'm really interested to see if Nintendo goes for the level 2 gank like Meteos did last game, because Pantheon is another champion that can go for the level 2 gank just after 1 buff. They're very uncommon because the other jungler can try and make you pay for showing that early, and junglers usually want to secure both buffs. But people like Pantheon and like Lee Sin have such high kill potential just at level 2 that the possibility is there, and you really catch your opponents off guard because they're not used to looking for jungle ganks until past 3 minutes.
Yeah, you fail that and you're in deep don't say that. So 2 minutes on the clock. We got Crumbs going for red. We'll see what he can do. Jade Wukong for him this game. Like we said, he played it quite effectively last time. We're going to see if he can out-gank Nintendo here in the aggression. Cruiser knows that it may be tough in that lane. And it is a 2v1 overall, but not the Karthus switch we were thinking about. Yeah,
so they go for the 2 versus 1 switch once again. Dignitas did this last time that they got. They do it fairly often when they get Jinx. Mundo and Renekton are both decent at clearing jungle camps, but you could see how Cruiser was already prepped for this one. Starting that Burning Agony, just taking out the Race plus Wolves very, very quickly. There'll be a camp up, actually.
He knows what he needs to do. It's dress down day. He's not business Mundo right now, but he's still working it. He's got calls to make. We see Nintendo getting a little bit of help from Zion Spartan as they share up the experience on the red. Bros making their way through the jungle.
So the turret damage actually will be pretty heavily in favor of the Jinx lane, even though the champion reduction is on that top turret. All of these members can go right up to the turret, whereas, you know, Leona's going to have a little bit hard. Oh, well, never mind. They're not even sending Muno to defend the turret. They're just giving it up. In that case, undefended, the turret should go down pretty similar.
I don't know. This turret looks pretty strong, Kobe. It's got a mean face on it, and the bottom one as well, but looks like Coast could take this one down a little faster. Both teams with the siege wave as they come in. That's the 3rd wave to hit. They're going to use it effectively.
So Mundo is actually a jungler, and Crumbs is actually a laner here. We're going with the tri-lane.
It's a game swap, not a lane swap.
Both these guys going tri-lane. Like, Renekton has also been relegated to the jungle as well. He's just having a harder time than Mundo.
So everybody's farming it up. We'll see what they can do. Still pressure in 2nd tier here in the top and bottom.
It's only the outer turrets that have that champion reduction damage. So once you get past that, you get to the 2nd turret, it goes down like butter here. That thing does not have the extra reduction. So Jinx really has a huge advantage now.
Yeah, that's where that passive comes into play. Real nice, keeping that Gatling out. turrets charging up that attack speed. Bottom lane getting pressure. We're getting deep into this game. 4 minutes in. Looks like the lanes could start to get split here quite big. Second turret goes down on both sides.
Right, now it's the game of chicken. Who's going to pull back first? Because they're just heading straight for inhibitors here.
Inhibitor turrets at 5 minutes. This is what we like to see. Getting in each other's face. Dig's going for it. Inhibitor, they are in the base at 4.5 minutes. It looks like Lucian wants to stay. Wiz Fusion's like, let's go, we got more to do. But everybody's back into the bottom lane, and the Inhibitor turret is 25% away from falling.
Better be careful, though, because Pantheon's coming in, and they got Flash. Oh, the chopper!
Level 3 Panth, nice job by Cutie Pie, pulling that out. Still stunned on Kiwi Kid, so they're relatively safe. They just got to they got some pets here they got to get away from.
All right, so the things to think about with this strange early game is that we've gotten global gold for both teams. We've accelerated this game. It's actually an inflated early economy here because both teams have a lot of early global gold, and they should be getting those team fight items much quicker. And we'll have to see how the rotations work out because Dignitas don't want to give up on just 2 turrets, and they're already switching over to mid.
This is acceptable. Enjoying this quite thoroughly. We see a lot of that grouping in mid now, though, Kobe.
And late game, you're going to have like Leona ultimate for long range engage and Pantheon for his man drop, he can get behind you. But since it's so early, since they've inflated the early game here from Dignitas, they actually don't have a lot of great hard engage from Coast. They have to land that Zenith Blade to go in, or they would have to have Nintendo come and flash in, come from the side, look for a flank onto Dignitas if they do decide to siege up.
Looks like Scar will be going for that Rod of Ages. Once he gets it finished, it'll be 10 minutes before he's fully built on that. It's still far away, though. The Blasting Wand to come in there. He has been pushed out of lane so far. He's only down in CS from that bit of going back to purchase. We'll see Coast now. Like you said, the lanes and the economy kind of upped a little bit, and we see a little bit of early roaming from everyone.
Dragon is still very dangerous to do. Since it's so early, it does a lot of damage, and they would want to do the sort of Mad Lifestyle micro of the Dragon and have somebody go close to it to get it turning, and then you go out of auto attack range, so that has to retarget to avoid that damage. But even doing that is dangerous because of the vision from Dignitas.
So Pink Ward plays just above Dragon. Coast to hold that for a little bit, but how much pressure can they actually keep in that area? Right now they control the vision. It looks like they may have something in store for this bottom lane at Dignitas.
Now, if you go at the bottom lane, which it seems like a good option at first because of the crowd control that they have down there to set it up, it's actually, there's 2 globals on Dignitas they have to worry about. So it's actually sort of a trap from Dig. They're saying if you go at our bottom lane, Annie will land the stun, and it'll buy time for teleport to come in.
Let's see. Annie may land that stun. She actually throws down the choppers first.
No
they
turret.
say, let's hold the stun. This is going to hurt. Oh, the flash on the barrier. Who thought he was going to get out? Not me. Wiz Fusion getting a hit there. It's not Crumbs being 6, but he is 5. Big kills coming in here from Cruiser. The teleport was used to get into the fight. Wiz Fusion still there. Cutie Pie has completely kept his distance from the fight. He knows what the result would have been.
So the trap does go off there. They are able to use both globals to get back in and answer 2 kills. But since Wiz Fusion was able to get the kill first, they got the first blood money. And it's actually a pretty even exchange since Ziggs was able to add his semi-global damage with his ulti, forcing Cutie Pie's flash.
See that one more time.
All right, let's look at the mini-map, because look at the roaming, actually. We see Renekton had made his way down here a long time ago. Here's the engage that we saw before, and yes, Cutie Pie does get really low.
I love how Kiwi holds the stun.
He's actually going to be able to save it, yeah. And the ult does come from Scar and the teleport, but Renekton arrives very, very soon after Mundo here. And he comes in hot with his ulti already popped. That's so that he can gain that passive Fury. That's why you would do that instead of saving it to when you get low. And it ends up being a pretty even trade because everybody did such a good job of rotating down to that bottom lane.
Action and reaction. Coast looking to keep on their toes in this game. They've been put a little on the back burner here with a bit of lead that Dignitas has. But they know that Dignitas is also just a train not going down the tracks right now at full speed. With the amount of wins they have, they're not going to let a win go by so easily. Or I should say a loss.
And pretty soon we are going to hit the point where people are actually level 6.
Yeah.
So for Coast, it's going to be really big increase in power because they'll get that hard initiate that I was talking about. Leona can stop them with the long-range solar flare, and then Pantheon is also going to have the opportunity to gank these long lanes.
Just ride the sun down from the sky. coming on top of the alts.
Everybody's grouped up. Renekton's the only one not at the party.
There's a good damage on the bomb, but that means they have to initiate in. They have Nintendo X. He doesn't even get to stun anyone. It's Daydreaming right in the middle of the fight right now, trying to be that Leona, but he cannot make it happen. Not a day at the beach.
You can see with the accelerated pace of this game, everyone's still low on life.
Oh, it's going to be 10 HP to Wiz Fusion. Woo, getting out of that one, it was very scary. They are not going to be able to contest any more of this. I don't think on both sides.
These dragon fights are so spectacular, and they're turned around so easily because it's still this early in the game. Nobody has that much HP, and everyone's going down so quickly that they're able to turn these fights on their heads at a moment's notice. Just like one ultimate makes the difference. That's half somebody's life.
They've pushed the game so far ahead from where they should be. They're like, wait a minute, we actually can't do this yet. And that's from turrets being pushed in the top and bottom. We're up to the inhibitors, and everybody's just trying to make the next move.
The rotation down from Shifter here is definitely going to catch out both these bottom lanes. There's no flashes left.
They're creeping. Oh, walking over the minefield. Kiwi Kid throwing the stun. He gets it out, but Spartan, he's going to let himself go down. A great Aegis out of Cutie Pie. He will go down as well, trying to dodge back and forth. He does deny the assist to Leona, so he did what he could.
All right, that means 2 people down. They should go for an objective, but look how quick the death timers are going to be up. It's so early in the game, there's low levels. They're going to be alive in time to try and answer. There's a long lane pushed up top, so Dignitas actually have a pretty big creep wave up there, and Scar is already rotating to it. That top turret is really low, but it's dangerous because he's Karthus and he can't escape.
He will try to just walk out right now, shoes tied. He doesn't want to have any danger. And a great job by Coast. Overall, we kind of saw that same engage happen twice. They just went down there. Mego Inferno Bomb was flash barriered coming in from Cutie Pie, and they just repeated, rinse and repeat.
It's one of the old advantages against the lane swap where the duo being down bottom from Coast means that Coast outer turrets are still up down there for the dragon fights. So they have safety, but Dignitas have to extend really, really far out into the open there. And without Kiwi Kid warding behind them, they didn't have any turrets to fall back on. Oh, this is a face check. It's going to be danger.
Nintendo not looking too good. Quick blow on the cartridge. That still doesn't work.
So with the same, everybody's lacking health. Everybody's also lacking wards. There's not a lot of vision down on the map. So we're seeing a lot of these picks come out. Very interesting game that we've come on here.
Very, very interesting. The gold only 400 apart, and that's no core item in somebody's pocket. So we are looking for at least a little bit of momentum to be grabbed here. After these lanes were pushed, we did just see Skara trying to go to the top side to no avail, was forced to back off. And we haven't seen a big Requiem really turn a fight either. So hopefully Coast is still remembering that as they go deeper and deeper into fights and get lower and lower in health.
Yeah. The one down bottom just kind of making it go even.
Yep.
Now they have their own globals, though, because Nintendo has hit that level 6. And Pantheon, he can make Dignitas pay for the long lane down bottom, even if they do ward behind them, because he doesn't have to come through wards. So that bottom lane is very dangerous for Dignitas right now.
And interesting from Kiwi Kid, whether he's just kind of let it slip by, but he did not switch to Sweeper when he went for his Sightstone. They're just leaving that up to Crumbs.
Yeah, I mean, the jungler does a lot of roaming too, so getting early Sweeper on him is good. But Annie, especially with Kiwi Kid's style where he likes to roam a lot, looks like he has decided to swap as well.
Yep.
And listens to
just
Grandpa
wasn't time yet.
Good advice.
We'll see what they have. Pink wards are abundant in the inventories of both sides, so both teams remembering to keep the map control privy in their mind. Looking at the top builds, buys, and CS 96 Zion Spartan, and that's the aggressive build.
It looks like Digger making a rotation mid though. They might even look for early tower pressure. Going against Ziggs is extremely hard to catch them out of position, because even if Shifter is far away, he can clear a wave instantly with his ult. And once he gets in range, it only takes him seconds to clear that thing out. It's very hard to get those early shoves in.
Spartan still going hard against Cruiser. We don't actually see him with the Tiamat build after the Dorans, as most Renekton's have been going.
He has been going early defense here because of the accelerated pace of the game. He wants to be the tank for his team. And I love what he just did right there. He waited till Crumbs got close enough to him that he could then recall or then back off without tipping Crumbs off that there's a ward down there in the tri-bush. Crumbs actually wasted time and wasted his sweeper in the wrong bush because Zion didn't move until he was in immediate danger. But now, Crumbs has just come through the lane.
They don't matter.
Now he's in trouble.
It's 10 to 9.
There's a monkey in that bush.
Crumbs, he draws him right in. See how long he waits for this. Kiwi Kid is kind of hovering down.
Cruiser's getting
fully
antsy.
waiting for him. Cruiser's like, man, let's go, let's do this. Come on, I got the alligator in my teeth. Let's go. There it is. The clone goes out. It's going to be big. Zion Spartan, can he get over the wall? No, it's such a thick wall. Oh, man, tripped up on his own tail. And here comes the man drop in. Wait a minute. Oh, that could be too late. You don't want to do that. The man drop flash. Very nice.
Follow
Crumbs goes in. There it is. He has the gap closer. Now daydreaming. The rest of the team. Do they have what it takes? Oh, he clones it, but still takes the damage.
Woo. That was an aggressive follow from Crumbs right there. He was split seconds away from not finishing that kill and dying himself. But a good job as well by Cruiser trying to land some cleavers, lay down that cover fire, and allow him time to escape.
I was just about to say, Coast has been so patient in their actions. Usually we see them going for things that would put them behind, things that actually hurt them a little bit. That entry into the fight late did kind of put a tick on them. Now they have to start stopping this split push.
And Scar is really happy with this. Yeah. You know, being able to split push a lot of extra farm with Karthus is very valuable because he hasn't gone early power.
Oh, there is a lot of AoE coming out and globals. Very nice shot down as the Requiem from Scar pretty much initiates that fight.
Well, they got Tibbers at the end there. Good stun from Nintendo to finish off the bear. But man, the flash initiates from Kiwi Kid are always something you have to keep in the back of your mind. As we said before, this Dig team, not only is it great at burning down turrets quickly because of Jinx, but they've got crazy initiation. Annie and Wukong, ridiculous AoE combo that they can pull off.
And nobody's moving out of that rocket once you're popped up.
All right, so let's watch here. Kiwi Kid getting close. Bam! He lands a two-man ulti. Immediate follow-up from Skara, who's still farming, by the way. He's very happy just farming while getting kills from his team.
It's a good stun on Tibbers.
As I said before, he's gone with the ramping up build. Early Rod of Ages means that he doesn't hit his power spike 10 minutes after you buy that item.
He won't be full form for a while. He does have the needlessly large rod, though. He's looking to make an impact with that damage. It's not just going to be a defensive build for him. See him and the team kind of moving down to the bottom side. Power and numbers here. Everybody moving in party, hip to hip. Double buffs onto Skara previously. That's going to be very nice for him in these engagements.
So Dignitas right now, all they have to do is stall because they're the ones with the teleport. And Mundo's up there, split pushing. So as long as they can stall Coast and poke them, they want to get as much poke as they can. They're starting off the dragon, though. They want to force this one. Coast are making Dignitas start it up.
Skara's hatching mines as he walks through the field. Cruiser's in the middle of the fight with Sadism on. And it looks like they are able to lock him down quite good. Crumbs tries to get the Cyclone off, but everybody's doing it in defense.
Shifter zones the whole team with his ulti there. And Cruiser was left all alone in the middle of Coast. They were even able to take out Mundo.
Oh, the culling, the attack speed, or rather movement speed, wasn't there from the W passive, so they don't continue. It's just to keep him back. Good damage from the rocket, but it's not enough to deter him or take the dragon. That goes in favor of Coast, and they don't pull in the lead yet, but they are staying even with Dignitas.
The zone control from Ziggs is ridiculous around early dragons. That's something that's actually glossed over a lot of the time, but he was really able to pretty much decide that entire fight there. The team collapses back, which is the right move, and you watch all of Dignitas, even after they get hit with the bomb, they're still hesitating on the outside while their tank gets burned down. And those just couple seconds of focused fire from Coast is all the difference that they need, and there's no more that Dignitas can do to contest the dragon.
Dig still looking to get initiation, and as you see the inventory, the Moby boots onto Kiwi Kid, looking to get himself right to the front of the fight and hopefully get that initiation. We just saw it under the turret, and we saw it give Dig a bit of a lead, but Coast is still scratching. They're clawing back, and they're not giving up.
Yeah, that last fight was very well played by Coast. I have to say, there are multiple ways to tank. Zoning is really the best tool that you have. And by zoning, it means just making the damage of the enemy team, the AD carry and the mages, too scared to use their damage and use their abilities. Yeah. So you're buying time for your team, which is pretty much the same as you actually tanking the damage, except all you're doing is zoning them out, making them too scared to enter the fight.
Seeing the Athenes on Shifter, he is also second itemed a needlessly large rod. They know that they are the ones to carry him and Scar, that is, for these two teams. Cutie Pie has not been having the usual game. Usually he's 3-4 kills up and has a great lead in CS,
hey,
which the lead
he's
is there.
got the turret kills, though. That's what he's
does have those turrets going
nowadays.
down.
Look, everything's a turret. Boom, got another one.
There it is. He's getting excited. Like he says, once you get that mobility, an 80 carry, it's unstoppable. And we'll see if that is provided for him in the fights to come. We're getting up to 20 minutes. They are going to start really pressuring each other. I believe the dives may start coming in from this team, Coast, as they get the siege on.
Both 80 carries going early Bloodthirsters. They will hit their power pretty much at the same time here. And everybody really with only one core item so far. They've all sort of stalled out. And the map is so open that it's really all about who can get the better positions and the numbers advantage in the small skirmishes on the side, because both teams have really strong globals.
It's going to make it hard. They have good warding, pretty much going down everywhere, up and down the river for both teams. More so for Coast. They are really in position to take this game over. They're down almost 2,000 gold now. That lead stretched a bit. Yeah,
it's a very even game. They've played it pretty well up until this point. And without the dragon being there to force fights, it's sort of degraded back into the farm game here.
Definitely now, more composed Coast.
Dignitas, because Lucian's up top, they should be able to get this turret very easily. And Coast have to make the decision right now if they want to actually continue with this split push or if they want to start grouping up.
That's interesting. Dignitas doesn't have super turret siege, but they have chompers, wall, everything that doesn't allow you to get through the turret as they are sieging it from pretty close range.
Yeah, I really do like Jinx in the sieging game even, because she can turn over to those rockets, which is long range as well. And those flame choppers that you just mentioned are a great tool. So I do like that combo. Plus, they're also relying on the threat of the engage. They don't have to go for the dive, but they have the threat of Kiwi Kid and Crumbs. We saw how Kiwi Kid before, split-second initiation, that has to be in the back minds of Coast, even if they're at their turret. And it sort of is the same idea where it's a psychological effect of that flash Tibbers, forcing them sort of off the tower.
And we heard Nintendo in the previous, in the bumper before the show, if I heard him correctly, say that it's kind of a waiting game. We need to wait for them to come to us. And that's almost going to work with the composition they're looking at.
But man, you don't want to wait too long, because look.
That's true.
Karthus, he's fully stacked on his rod, plus he's got a death cap now. So he's hit a huge power spike. And that's all AoE magic damage. There's not a whole bunch of magic resist coming out from this Coast team. When he pops Requiem, that's guaranteed chunks out of every single member of Coast. At this point, it's going to be at least a third of Shifter's HP and other squishies like Wiz Fusion. So it's very dangerous to do the team fight right now for Coast, because Scar just finished that death cap.
I'm surprised we don't see the Locket of the Iron Solari coming out on the side of Coast. It's going to be a lot of damage, even on both sides. The Black Cleaver being finished for that Cyclone stack, the damage coming in from Wukong is going to help Cutie Pie so much. Yeah,
they've got really well-diversified damage sources on Dignitas, so it's hard to itemize against it since you have to balance all defensive stats. You need health to back up your armor and your magic resistance. And really, it's all about catching someone out of position. Coast, as we said before, they really want to make use of the long-range engage that they have with the Leona and the Pantheon to try and catch Dig away from their AoE game that they want to play. Dignitas really want to get the combo off. That's where their strength is.
Looks like Coast is waiting for that they are going to come to us situation right now. The pink ward is almost the initiation of this fight right here, but they both back off as Dignitas does get a bit of vision control. We're going to see Dragon in 15 seconds. The posture is heavy from both teams.
And Cutie Pie cheated a little down to that bottom lane to grab a couple extra CS, and Dig actually were gaining money from all three lanes at once. So the lead slowly eking out towards Dig's favor now, while Coast are sort of in an indecisive position around Dragon. They know they have to make something happen very soon. So there's the long-range engage coming.
How about this for soon? Nintendo coming in with the man drop. Grand Skyfall does not get too much. Oh, they don't see it coming from the backside. They do. Nintendo and Shifter call it. He satchels over the wall, but Nintendo's left with his team. It's Daydreaming trying to get out. A great calling from the backside, but Wiz Fusion could be in a bad spot real quick. They get Daydreaming off as well. The Requiem hasn't even been used, and the double kill coming in for Skara, coming up big on the fight. Wiz does what he can, taking down Crumbs, but they are still engaging. Zion tries to get the stun down. Cutie Pie's there. The Rockets are on. He dodges in a great stop and stutter to get himself out of line.
Stutter step from Zion, letting the zap go right by him. Really nicely played. That was almost a double for the Kiwi Pie. Bottom lane at the end cleaning up, but they weren't able to get it. However, they retain control of the map, and that's going to mean the dragon for them. So they get the giant reward. You see a really good call by Dignitas backing off. As soon as they saw the Pantheon circle, they call for the teleport in back and just circle around Coast. They get a lot of the AoE off and at least 2 people, but Scar gets taken down so early, he can't continue to move with the fight. At this point, Requiem does come down, though, and that will guarantee the extra advantage for them, getting them low enough. I love how Kiwi Kid did not give up on the play either. He goes into finish Shifter, even gets him by himself.
Throws down the Ignite. Make sure he goes down. Oh, that stab. Zion Spartan. Learn that in gym class.
Keep your finger on that S key, because that's one of the best juking tools, especially, I guess, if you're Wukong there, Crumbs, is extra opportunities to make use of that.
So damage builds from both of the junglers. I guess you're going to get that out of a Pantheon on a Wukong. They've been trying to do what they can. It is a 4-2-4 Wukong with 143 CS, though, trouncing 0-5-4. And you see 63 CS. Nintendo's been having a tough time.
Yeah, he is. And that's why he's sort of behind on his Warmogs that he's trying to build. Pantheon loves that Warmogs. If you're going to build a single defensive item, health is always the way to go, because it'll protect you in both cases, since Dig's damage is so diversified. And Pantheon really just wants to be able to live long enough to get off multiple uses of his passive. So probably going to try and rush that Warmogs next before even upgrading into that Black Cleaver.
So Glass Cannon Skara looks to finish up a Void Staff as his next item. But he's actually been really safe in these fights. The Chompers, the wall, zoning potential of Kiwi Kid hasn't allowed Coast to get anywhere near the back line. It's always been a man drop that's been too far out of range for Coast to get to.
Yeah, they want to get it comboed really well with a long Solar Flare. That would be the ideal situation. Solar Flare trying to catch out one of these high priority targets that are fairly low health. But they just haven't been able to do it. Dig are so good at spreading out when they see Coast's attempts at the initiation, and then re-engaging as soon as Cruiser joins the fight with his teleport.
Dig feeling the fact that they are ahead. We see Kiwi Kid picking up a needlessly large rod. Talisman's finished, and that was the next thing he went for.
He got power happy after that that kill on to Shifter there. I think that power has definitely gone to his head. He might be going for a DFG.
Let's see. It is the first kill on the Shifter, so it was a 3-kill shutdown. He gets a bit of gold out of that.
I love seeing the support Annies with DFG, because your support in the end game ends up being able to solo the AD carry of the opponents now in Season 4.
That's a ridiculous
The tables have
advantage.
really turned around.
Oh, the tables could turn as well here, or just keep being flipped in favor of Dignitas. The wards are going down. Do see that Coast they seem quite unsure about this invade. They're playing the more, you still need to come to us, but we're looking for you very slowly.
They need to make use of their sweepers to try and catch Dig out. As we said before, they want that long range engage. They're scared of the AoE, and they really need to make use of the jungle walls to try and get a spread out team fight.
Such a good stop on the siege.
Though.
I don't know if they're going to be able to. Oh, yeah, they are definitely coming up train style. Annie's on the caboose. Kiwi Kid will be the last one to engage on this. And Zion Spartan, he could be a little too far back. The Randuin's going off, and Daydreaming, he's trying to flex his muscles, get his way into the fight, show that surfboard. Crumbs is in. They're trying to, they get it onto the 10, dude. The man drop will not be apparent in this fight. And the culling also getting blown out of this. Cruiser's going to eat it up on Sadism, though. Kiwi Kid on the back line. You can see him trying to stun up, or charge up the stuns to get into the fight. Daydream in the back, but they have great coordination on who they're killing. Turn on to Shifters. Barriers used. Requiem comes down if they can't capitalize on the kill themselves. Skara coming up with that kill. And it's just one after the other. A shutdown there. Missing on the zap, the flash over the wall. That's enough for Dignitas on this one. 4 for 1.
still, it was even a very close team fight. They got a lot of members of Dig very low, and all the AoE of Dig was blown on, you know, either 1 or 2 members because they were chasing. But since they took out Nintendo before that even started, there was basically a 4 versus 5 fight, and Dig coming out ahead. I really like how Kiwi Kid backed up his AD carry at the end, too. So that's maybe the 8th cleaver that Cruiser has landed in this chase.
There were a lot.
Keeping Coast around. This is really the big point, is they caught out Nintendo and just obliterated him before he got any damage off. Then they spend a lot on Zion here. It's the Wukong ultimate just on the tank. So that's a lot of resources spent, and Crumbs gets pretty low since he's going with the damage build. But they are able to finish it off since Shifter will go down to Requiem no matter what. Here comes Kiwi Kid. Just in case Cutie Pie was about to go down, he had barrier as well. Even he wasn't expecting the flash from Kiwi to save him.
Kiwi Kid is everywhere right now, and he knows he can be. Doing a great job for the team. We did say trouble last spring for him, but he has turned the tables. He's, what is it? Was it most kills? I think Cutie Pie might have taken that over, but Kiwi Kid has been playing exceptional for Dignitas.
Yeah, I think a lot of Dig's players have been really improving their gameplay since the beginning of the season. It's really showing too. Crumbs especially as that
and now shot caller.
He's really confident now, and you can see it in their movements. As I said, when the long range engage comes, they immediately spread out. Everybody's sort of on the same page, it seems, now with Dig.
And when your shot caller is almost 100 CS above their jungler, that's even more confidence to come in. Crumbs was the first one getting kills, had a hand in first blood.
And he's used that confidence to just buy all these offensive items.
Yeah.
As we said before, if you're going to use your ult just on the tank, then it puts you in a risky spot. But if he can get to the squishy backline, he'll just obliterate everybody. He's just gone full offense here, and it's going to be a powerful Cyclone that does come out.
Getting tougher and tougher for Coast to come back. Zion Spartan is, as we said, going for the tank build on Renekton. But that leaves Nintendo building the damage from the jungle, so they've swapped that. Swap that there.
The old switcheroo.
Switcheroo.
Coming from Coast. They actually really need to make a play with Nintendo, I think. Catching somebody, trying to get a man drop on a single target, and getting that kill to turn into an objective, because they've already shown that it's very difficult to win the straight up fight now. And you need to prey on someone who's out of position. They do have the tools to do it, so Coast fans should not be disheartened quite yet. They've got tools to come back. It's just going to be a long, hard battle.
You're definitely going to have to turtle inside that base. You can see Wiz Fusion taking consideration into that magic damage that's being thrown at him. He throws the Spectral's Cowl in there right after the Triforce has been completed. These guys need to stay alive for quicker than one spell reel from the enemy. These fights are going quick.
I do like the Zanyas as well from Shifter.
Yeah, just picked it up.
He can Zanyas that Requiem, so at least one person won't be taking that damage. That's actually shot through the roof since the Void Staff has been added on top. I mean, Scar has really got a really high impact Requiem.
Well, this is that game to bring out the Banshee's Veil. And we see a Spectral Cowl over that Spirit Visage, so they're going for a few of them.
Mundo split pushing again. It's kind of Dig's easy call to make. They can just soak up extra money on him, and the tankier that he gets, the further away from Renekton that he gets as far as the gold lead is concerned, the better for Dig. They can just have him running around the back lines and slowing people, as we've seen. Very effective in the chase.
And with that, we've seen different split pushers. What do you kind of have to provide as a split pusher?
It looks like Zion split pushing to answer Cruiser here is going to be a 2 versus 1. So you want to be able to at least take one person and wave clear, but he can't. This is going to be a tower down here probably. Oh, he's able to get the wave clear.
Got to bring big muscles to the table.
Still one at least.
That's first on the list. Or be a crocodile. Seems to work pretty well. We'll see if he can keep this 50%, just above 50% turret heavy. It looks like the rest of the team is coming to protect. Kobe,
all right,
this could get dirty.
Watch for this turret dive, because Cruiser, if he gets close to anyone, he'll take turret aggro just because of his Sunfire. And if that happens, Crumbs can immediately jump in there with Kiwi Kid and get that AoE combo off. It will be an explosive team fight. Even though it's under the turret, Dig can actually end it pretty quickly. Yeah. Zion will be the only one walking around after all the damage.
Summoners are up on both sides. Sure. Looks like everybody can really get where they need.
That Scar poke from the side there. That's creative.
A little vision. Wall gives you vision, so he's going to be able to see what's going on over there. Looks like they get good damage onto the turret. That's Jinx being Jinx. He was really the only one hitting it. His Cruiser, he's playing the guard. He's a riot shield.
Yeah, and also Coasters don't want to fight that outer turret. They send up Pantheon top. Pantheon probably the best to go answer a clear wave because he can join the fight from almost half a map away. He's going to have to walk down a little bit, but he can jump pretty far. The only thing is he has to not get caught before the fight starts here. If either jungler gets caught out again, then it'll be a well.
Oh, you mean junglers? Yeah, that could happen. It's a dark place in the forest, and Nintendo didn't bring a flashlight. 16-8, 35 minutes into the game. It's about an 8,000 gold lead we're looking at right now. And definitively, Dignitas has really won the lanes. But kudos to Shifter. He does have the CS lead, and he knows he needs to be on the one to carry for his team, and he holds that position usually. Yeah,
if the jungler getting caught out early, the squishy jungler. Wow, Crumbs, way to stay calm. Ooh. Stay calm. Use Smite. Baron secured. If either of the junglers going, they've both gone damage here. So if either of them gets caught out, then it's a huge detriment to the team, and you immediately lose your control over the objective, which Dignitas immediately pounce on. And man, is it a rough game for Nintendo here. 0-7, really feeling it.
I was very interested to see how Dignitas would do once they get to the turrets, but they're so big right now that they can just go right under them. Coast has nothing to stop them from going in. Looking at that featured matchup of I'm a Cutie Pie and Wiz Fusion coming in 4-1 and 6. Cutie Pie did start to get the kills under his belt, and we've seen him start to make a few more plays.
He's been dictating really the pace of the game since the opening minutes. With that rush top, the top turret is really flimsy right now. It's very low already. If Dig push on one of the 3 lanes, I would definitely go for that top lane because they don't even have to dive the turret. All it takes is a couple of attacks, and it'll go down. Then they can have the flash initiates, and it will be very, very rough for Coast.
Now looking at Cutie Pie, we've been seeing a lot of static Shiv lately. But a few Phantom Dancers have definitely been finding their way into inventories.
Yeah, they've got amazing wave clear already, with Karthus and stuff, so didn't have to go with the static Shiv. He's just going massive carry mode right now. And if he turns that BF sword into an Infinity Edge, that's like the classic sort of AD carry late game build right there for hard carrying. Synergizing the Infinity Edge plus Phantom Dancer means that your team fight damage is going to be ridiculous.
Well, they're already pretty ridiculous in the damage area with Crumbs going in very hard. Like you said, building all 3 damage items before going defensive. It's something we've actually been seeing from a lot of junglers. Junglers in EU were also building Spirit of the Spectral Wraith and the Elder Lizard on most of the junglers they were using.
And it's a playstyle that takes confidence to pull off. If you're not sure in your moves, then you're going to go down very quickly. If you don't dodge a CC ability, then you can be punished very quickly. But you have a much bigger impact on the plays, and that's what Crumbs wants. He wants to have the power in his hands.
We'll see how he can handle that right now. Actually looking at Nintendo's...
Whoa! Top turret is fully regen, by the way. I forgot that inhibitor turrets do regen over time now. That was so long ago. It's back to full life.
Well, usually we only just see him taken down, right? The team's there. It's definitive. They either hit it or they don't.
That's a good little reminder.
We were here so long ago. That was a mere 20 minutes. But they were here. Early in the game. We saw these turrets pushed in. A little bit of history lesson, and now we've come to this. The mid was opened up around 12 minutes in the game as everybody, it was a very early roam with the top 2-tier turrets being, top tier first and second. I'm good.
Top tier terror?
A lot of alliteration here with T's. But that kind of slowed down the game, we said. It brought them to a point where everybody had a little too much money and a little too low level to deal with everybody.
So with that, the regeneration of inhibitor turrets, it does limit the options a little bit. They can't go for that just burst it down, and they want to group up. Cruiser does get tower aggro, and there they go.
Nintendo X does not live through this one. Going down instantly, he has been the focus in these fights. Wiz Fusion able to drop Scara, but still from Death Defy, he can bring down the Requiem. Zanya's off by Shifter, zoning Daydreaming out to the right, and they can't pass through the wall. Scara did as much as he could before going down, and even after death, he's having an impact. Zion Spartan tries to dive in. The Flame Choppers gets him locked up, and he does go down. Cutie Pie's taking some turrets down.
Ooh, So even though Skara goes down, he gets the guaranteed damage, as we said before. So a 1-for-1 trade with him and Nintendo is not even, since Skara hits the whole team with his Requiem after going down, and they're able to get the inhibitor. That's basically the only hurdle that was left for Dignitas. Now they have that open way into the base of Coast, and they can just ward up the entire map and easily secure the next objectives like Dragon, pretty much free gold, Baron as well. So there's what I talked about. Cruiser gets the tower aggro just from getting close, and then it's the initiate from Kiwi Kid. Crumbs goes in to follow it up on Shifter here, and Shifter is able to get back all the way to his Nexus turrets, but that zoning from Crumbs was allowing them to take down the turret that entire time. PewDiePie made quick work of it, and then they get the inhibitor as well. This Solar Flare only hits Cruiser for the slow, so that means that it's an easy counter-initiate for Dig in the end.
Just trying to take those last chances that didn't work out for him. Going back to the inventories real quick, looking at Nintendo buying the Tabis over Merc Tread this game, and he's facing so much magic damage in crowd control.
Yeah, I mean, there's just all kinds of damage from him, and him getting caught out doesn't really matter what defensive item. I guess if he is going to get stunned out, then you're like, yeah, I want Merc Tread so I don't get stunned as long, but he's just been getting blasted so often. Yeah, maybe a little tenacity might have been a difference in the early game. The world will never know.
0-8-4 coming in out of this one. Has been having a hard time, but he's still trying to keep his team in, and he does not have a problem engaging these fights. Problem once he gets in the fights, but still making sure there's talk and calls going on. Keeps the team at a level where you can get back into the game. That, however, is very far away with Dig grabbing another Dragon. Huge gold lead of 71,000 to 57. And there's only 4 turrets left on the map here for Dig.
They also got a couple more tools for diving here. We've got a Crumbs GA, so he can dive. And we also have Skara with Zanya's. So now he's got an option as well. There's a very, very, very dangerous tower defense for Coast right now because Dignitas are very ready to go for this kill.
They want it almost immediately. Flash burned on PewDiePie, but he's still on the backside. Switches over to Rockets, focusing the turret. Crumbs, Skara zoning. Whoa, going in with the file to the middle of the fight. Throws down Zanya's. They seem so like they have the upper hand here. Wiz Fusion on the backside. Cyclone right onto him. Everybody's picking and choosing their own fight, and Coast can't handle it.
Yeah, they just got obliterated. That's probably going to be the end of this story here. Dignitas with a confident dive and a strong push on Nexus turrets.
The train will not stop at this station. Please pass go. Please collect another win. Dignitas stays on the streak. 41 minutes in the game against Coast.
Really well played. And I don't know really how Coast wanted the picks and bans to go, but it seemed like Dig got all the champions that they want. Every single one. As we said before, the Jinx plus Annie combo has been great for them. Cruiser's best champion is Mundo. Well, statistically, his best champion has been Mundo. And then, Crumbs and Scar really just get to pick up whatever they want in the back. It seems just like really exactly how Dig laid out the game plan.
Like you said, Cruiser on Mundo. 4 wins, 4 plays. Oh man. PewDiePie giving us a bit of a flash tibbers there.
Get the full word on that? What was that thing?
I think
Texas, I guess? All right. Bit of an odd shout out.
Scars from there too as well. They're just showing some love. Fans saying, we know you're out there, guys. Thanks for watching. Because they have been playing amazing. Dignitas was really faltering in the beginning of the season, and then out of nowhere, they just start blowing people up. Even after an off week, and they have 3 games this week.
Yeah, hot streak continues. Another very convincing match from Dignitas.
6 straight wins. Who would have thunk?
Well, Dig probably, because they did it last season. They went on a big spree after losing the initial fights.
Yeah, but then they lost to one of the bottom teams, so it's any given Saturday or Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, people oftentimes are very critical of even pro teams. In League of Legends, one game is not – you can't look at one game and say, oh, yeah, that team is way better than the other team just because they won a single match. There's so many small things that can happen in a single game that could tip the scale heavily in one team's favor. It doesn't mean that they're a bad team if they lose a couple.
Baron usually has a hand at that.
Yeah, Baron has a pretty big hand.
trying to get in for the smites, trying to make it happen. But remember,